This is the Stacey on Sports NBA Free Agency Special 2025 edition here on YouTube. I am your host, Stacey Carter II, joined by Randall, who going back to back, man. He was on the podcast yesterday, on YouTube today, and Noah has returned from the shadows of the Pittsburgh Steelers. What's up, fellas?
Dark shadows, bro.
The dark shadows. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Good, man.
Okay. Yeah, ready to get to free agency, man. You know, a lot's been going on. You know, that's
a lot,
great in the NBA, man. So, yeah, man, ready to jump right into it.
Oh yeah, man, we got a lot to discuss. It's been moves been made, crazy trades, crazy signings. We still got a long way to go. Some superstars could be on the move next. But let's just talk about what we've seen so far in review as far as free agency this first week. Let's just paint an overall picture. What move has stuck out to you so far? Like when you saw the news coming into your feed, you was like, that could be something positive or negative. Noah, what was that one move that stuck out to you?
Definitely the one where Miles Turner got signed to the Bucks. I think that's a very surprising, very shocking move, especially if I'm an Indiana Pacers fan. Like, especially with the run they just had, and I think he was like favored to stay with them long term, and then they just out of nowhere the Bucks say, "Hey, 4 years, you're with us." I'm like, what? And then considering they didn't get anyone to like substitute his place yet, and like, oh man, that's very shocking. And that's an interesting situation in Milwaukee too, because after that, you know, everyone knows that Dame Lillard just got released shortly after, which puts Giannis at a different type of viewpoint in the team going forward. So that's definitely the one move so far that has like caught my attention the most, and I've been doing a lot more deep diving in that one. It's very interesting move.
Were you shocked by him signing to the Bucks, or were you just shocked by him just leaving the Pacers? Period.
Him leaving the Pacers. I thought
me too.
Yeah, because I thought those last 2 years at the very least like really solidified his place to be that guy with Halliburton and everyone. It's like, wow, man, that really surprised me.
Yeah, because he was and I brought this up on the podcast episode with Randall and Matt. He was ducking and dodging and dealing with those trade rumors for the past 4 or 5 seasons. And I thought that was all over with because, you know, they went to the NBA finals. They went to the conference finals. They exceeded expectations, you know, actually the last 2 seasons, like you mentioned, Noah. So I thought that was like all well in the past. And then I saw a report saying that the Pacers could have paid him just the same as he just signed for it. So like, what was going on with that? It gotta be something real personal behind the scenes. You know, we really don't see what goes on. We all just speculating, just talking about it for entertainment purposes. But man, I'm glad he got his money. But as a fan of the game, I wanted him to stay with the Pacers, man.
That might set them back.
Yeah. With Halliburton gonna be out pretty much the rest of the season next season, man.
And no replacements yet.
No replacements.
So
I don't think you can replace that. That's a spirit guy, and you know how I say about the spirit guys. You just can't replace them. You just can't.
It's very hard to, at the very least.
Plus, he's been there. He's been there his whole career. Like he's like, I think he even talked about when they won the Eastern Conference. You know, like he'd been there 10 years. Like he said, he'd spent like, you know, basically most of his entire adult life, you know, playing for the Pacers in Indianapolis. Like, you know, he's like it seemed like he became one with that city. So I mean, it's just, and the fact that Indy seemed like they just didn't like go out of their way to bring him back. It's just, I just don't understand why.
Yeah, me neither. But Randall, what was that one move that stuck out to you during this free agency period so far?
I know you already alluded to Damian Lillard being waived. You know, I think that was the most shocking development that came out because, you know, Milwaukee gave up Drew Holiday, who was a core, you know, member of that championship team back in 2021, you know, to bring in Damian Lillard. And, you know, they wanted to take, Milwaukee, they took that risk to want to keep Giannis happy. You know, they wanted to bring in Damian Lillard thinking that, okay, we're going to have like a superstar duo that's going to bring another championship here. And basically, you know, the move just did not work at all. I mean, the whole last season, the first season Damian Lillard was there. He was dealing with some off the court issues. He was going through a divorce at the time. So I know that did affect him. And then adjusting to a new city. But it's just those two guys just couldn't really put it all together. And then now, like with the stretch, and then now that Dame succumbed to that Achilles injury, for them to basically stretch to use that stretch vision. And now they have to pay Damian Lillard $22.6 million for the next 5 years. I mean, like, that's really now long term. It's like for the Milwaukee Bucks, it's like, how are you really going to build a competitive team just having to pay $22 million for the next 5 years for somebody that just to go away? Like, I know bringing in like they did that in order to bring in Miles Turner, but I do think that long term, if you're really going to want to keep Giannis happy, like you're going to have there still has to be other moves along the way, like in order for this to somehow make sense. So now I did mention I'm curious to see whether they could bring Drew Holiday back if he does get bought out by the Portland Trailblazers. But if that ends up not happening, and they don't really have a plan B beyond that as far as the guard position, I mean, I just don't really see how the Bucks are really going to be able to still compete. Now, I mean, Giannis is still great and still playing at a high level. I do like Miles Turner as a Brook Lopez replacement, but at the same token, like, I do think they still need, there's still another move or two to be made in order to really keep Giannis wanting to stay there.
Like, I agree with you the other day, bringing in Drew Holiday is not going to alleviate everything, but it's definitely a start to at least put a Band-Aid on the wound right now as you trying to keep your superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo happy. So yeah, I agree with that. Both points, Miles Turner and Dame, one of the most shocking things we have seen in free agency. The move that stuck out to me, and on face value may not seem like one of those rah-rah type of moves, but I mean, when you think about how this team been placed in the past few seasons, you can kind of unfold the picture and kind of understand is Julius Randle returning to the Minnesota Timberwolves. 3 years, $100 million. Now, people say there might be an overpay, but first of all, you got to overpay nowadays. You see some of the money some of these other free agents making, they got less accolades than Julius Randle. And then two, I was on the train saying that Julius Randle was going to be a centerpiece of the Timberwolves' plans going forward. If they bring him back, then that just tells me that they feel like they could compete with him. They trust him in the playoffs. They trust him in the big games. They trust him to be that second option outside of Ant. And they still believe that they can get out the West because they've been in the Western Conference Finals the past 2 seasons. And they had to make that move in order to keep up because now the looming threat in the West now is the Houston Rockets, who made big splashes. We already know, bringing in Kevin Durant, among other names. So the Timberwolves, they got to do something. They still got Gobert, their defensive anchor. You got a superstar in Ant Edwards. Now, I mean, we got to see who going to be that kind of that guard of the future with Mike Conley on his way out. But still, this was a move that the Timberwolves had to decide on right away. Looks like they are going to go with Julius Randle going forward.
No, I am curious though, because they also signed Naz Reid to a long-term deal too.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am curious to wonder, because they've committed to both of those guys, is there going to come a moment where they finally try to move off of Rudy Gobert at some point? Like, is that going to be something that the Wolves might consider in the near future? Money wise, especially when it comes to ownership, these teams are trying to avoid being in that second apron. That's why that's why Denver moved off of Michael Porter. That's why Boston moved off of their players, because they're trying to get off of that second apron. So I am curious to know, do you think that a Rudy Gobert trade could be in the near future, just, off of money purposes?
I see your points, money purposes, but as far as roster, having him on the roster, him as a player and all that, and then what you gave up just to get him, I don't think you move off of Rudy Gobert. Like, Rudy Gobert is a very odd player in the NBA. It's like,
yeah,
you need him, but then
he kind of gets cooked here and there.
Yeah, when it's there, sometimes it's kind of queasy. You know what I'm saying? It's a queasy feeling. Like
I'll never forget when Luca did that to him, like on the spot. That 1 year, that was so filthy.
yeah, like, and
Man.
then it's like he's not going to get any better. He's capped out as far as like potential. So yeah, so
Solid player though. I mean,
no, yeah, it's like you can live with him, but you can live without him. But I think the Timberwolves, they can't mail it in right now with Rudy. They gotta ride that out for like a year or two, another year or two. Now we just painted the overall picture. We just talked about the move that stuck out to us. Let's go to who won free agency besides the Houston Rockets, of course. If that was y'all top choices, I'm taking it off the board. All three of us is gonna say that because I wrote them down too. But of course, gotta have backups. Who won free agency besides the Houston Rockets? Noah, who's your big winner?
I was between two teams here, man. I was between the Nuggets and the Hawks. So I didn't realize am I the only person to know this till today that Porzingis got traded there?
I found that out yesterday. Like when Matt said it, I was like, wait a minute.
That was recent, right? Okay,
yeah,
that's not just me.
I think it was a little bit before around the draft. Like, so it was like, I think it was about a week and some change. I think shortly after Drew Holiday was moved, then Porzingis was moved.
Okay, because I didn't hear much buzz about it. I don't know if that was just me or I missed something, but okay. I thought that was a really good trade for them. I think they traded for him and a second rounder while giving up their former second rounder to the Celtics for another player. And then I think they got some change in that too. Wasn't that like a 3-team trade?
Yeah.
It was. Okay, that's right. Yeah, so I think that to get someone like him and was it Nickel Alexander Walker and Luke Kennard and draft capital to support Trae Young. I think that's a good trade. I think that's a good thing for the Hawks to do. I think that they're due for giving Trae Young a team to work off of. So yeah, so I got to give it to them on that. I was really close with the Nuggets though, letting go like you said earlier, Randall, with Michael moving on from Michael Porter and getting what they got with Tim Hardaway and company. If I had to give it to the winner right now, I'd say the Hawks. I'm more impressed with right now.
All right, nice. I did write down the Denver Nuggets. I'm gonna just go ahead and speak on that right now since Noah brought it up. That was my winner, and they won because I think they revitalized their depth. This team still believes that they can compete for a championship, even with the head coaching change. Like you said, they brought in Tim Hardaway Jr., who was there in Detroit, who Detroit was going to move off of him. So they swooped in, got him. They traded Michael Porter Jr., like you said, for Cam Johnson, who people look at him as like the better version of Michael Porter Jr., like the upgraded version, had a good season with the Nets. They brought back Bruce Brown now. As far as like on the court play, I don't think Bruce Brown is going to provide what he did when he was previously there. But spirit guy, like that's a guy that didn't really want to leave the situation. He was just chasing after the bag, and now he could come back home. He can come back. You can always come back home. Ain't no shame in that. Ain't no shame in that whatsoever. You got to do something when you just fall. You went from what we was making like 20 million a year, and you just fall all the way to the Pelicans. You gotta go back home. you gotta re-up. So I think they did a good job reestablishing their depth. Hopefully Jamal Murray can stay healthy. Of course, Jokic gonna do his thing, gonna be MVP year in, year out. So shout out to the Nuggets. I think they're right now the third best team in the West behind the defending champions, of course, the Thunder and the Houston Rockets. Randall, who's your big winner in free agency?
Well, you mentioned the Nuggets. Noah mentioned the Hawks. And another thing about the Hawks is that they also have Jalen Johnson coming back off injury next year, who's also a really good young player as well. So, I mean,
that's right.
Bring him back into the fold. I think Atlanta could definitely be a dangerous team next year in the East. It's going to be wide open. But I am going to go to another team in the Eastern Conference. I'm going to go with the Orlando Magic. I know they gave up 4 first-round picks for Desmond Bane, but you have to look at it like this. Orlando, for a team like the Orlando Magic, that's not typically going to be like a major play in the free agent market. Teams like that are going to have to give up those types of draft picks if they're going to want to compete. So, bringing in a player like Desmond Bane, like who's the quintessential 3 and D guy, Orlando's already like one of the top defensive teams in basketball. They've been one of the top defensive teams in basketball for several years. but they just don't. But outside of Banchero and Franz Wagner, they don't really have much on the offensive end. So you bring in the Desmond Bain to give this team more offense. Like, I think adding that scoring element, there could be a potential big three there in Orlando. I really think Paolo's one of the up and coming young players in the league that's an ascending player. You can have Franz Wagner be like your third option, and I think he could definitely flourish in that third option. So I think Orlando could definitely be a dangerous team, in this wide open East. That they could. I think they could be a team that could make some noise next year.
Paolo Banchero is one of my favorite young players in the NBA. I really thought he was polished and ready for the pros coming out of Duke, even though he came out as a freshman. And then Franz Wagner, one of the most underrated players in the NBA, 20 points per game, easy per night. I do want to ask you about this team, though, and I was wondering about them. Whoever got an answer first can answer. The Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks, they re-signed Kyrie Irving. They brought in D'Lo for depth. You got Cooper Flag in the draft, Anthony Davis. They had Derek Lively at center. I think they still got Daniel Gafford backing up at the center position too. How y'all feel about what the Dallas Mavericks did? Even though they were subtle moves, re-signing Kyrie and bringing in D'Lo, how y'all feel about them moves? Do y'all think that they can reach their level, getting back to the Western Conference with those players now?
Maybe they're solid moves. Don't get me wrong, but still not enough to make up for like getting rid of Luka.
I mean, it's really going to depend on. I mean, we got to see how this kid Cooper Flag is, because they said. All the scouts that saw this kid work out, they were in absolute awe. They were talking about like a two-way player. So I mean, if this kid comes in and lights up the league, AD's still, I think a top 10-ish, 15-ish type of player, and then now, I think bringing in D'Lo, Kyrie's still coming back from an ACL injury, so really, I think bringing him in is they just wanted to have a solid, experienced starting point guard just to be able to hold the fort down until Kyrie gets back. If they could just stay in the 500-ish or maybe a little bit above 500 once Kyrie comes back, then I think Dallas can definitely they can find some momentum and at least be a playoff. I won't necessarily go to the extent that they can end up being a contender, but I think they could definitely get back into the playoff hunt amongst like the teams in the West. Because the West is going to be a dogfight. You still got up and coming teams like the San Antonio Spurs coming up. You never at some point they're going to make strides with their young talent. So I think they could be. I think they could be an interesting team. Towards the second half of the year once Kyrie comes back.
I think they also need to have Cooper Flag be like exactly or damn near exactly who they think he's gonna be in order for like most of this stuff to work out.
Are you saying out the gate, or are you saying like?
Oh no, just
period.
in just period. Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be out the gate or anything, but yeah, just like not a bust.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Now let's go to the other side of the spectrum. Even though there are winners, there are losers too in this free agency period. And I'm going to start this off because this guy, and I think y'all know who I'm talking about. This guy, he was already a wild card to begin with on all the teams that he's been on. But then and then at the wrong time, you're a free agent too. Man, you just lost out on a lot of money, dude. A lot. I think Randall know who I'm talking about. Malik Beasley, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? He has a career season with the Detroit Pistons. Detroit Pistons got to the farthest point they got to in a long time. And now you got gambling. You getting investigated for gambling. And then everybody was like, oh, no wonder he had a career year. That boy was in debt. now, then he getting sued for like $650,000 or something like that. He ain't pay his how you not pay your barber? How do you not pay your barber?
That's crazy, dude.
Come on now, look.
Poor barber, dude.
I'm well aware, of the post-COVID barber prices. Like, what I'm talking about, Stacey. That post-COVID barber inflation. But come on, man, like 68, like 60 grand, like 600 grand.
Come on, bro. Like, damn.
Yeah, everybody getting in like
Big L.
oh man, just tank your career in a matter of moments. Man. On a serious note, I just can't stand when I see stories like that. Like, come on, man, you gotta think. But I mean, we laughing about it, but it's a damn shame. It really is.
No, seriously, there.
And this, I mean, and unfortunately, man, it's like with this legalized sports gambling, it's like you're still seeing guys getting caught up. We saw what happened with Michael Porter Jr.'s brother.
Jonte Porter.
Yeah, Jonte Porter. Yeah, like he got banned from the league for that. So it's like
for gambling.
Yeah, man. Like
he did.
Oh wow,
for gambling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like it's definitely unfortunate, man. And just I mean that's the mess. That's kind of like sometimes like the messy legalized gambling because sometimes it can be it can be an addiction. So it's
not can be. It is an addiction. I watched this show called Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. It's like a political commentary type of show that uses comedy to tell you what's going on in the country. And they was talking about like FanDuel and DraftKings, them how they expose people who has gambling addictions and just find ways to keep them playing and playing and playing, and then don't even pay them out. They're like, he was talking about this one story. This man won $200K on one of them sites, and they ain't even pay him up front. He had to sue to get the money.
Jesus.
Damn.
Yeah. No. Well, who was your big loser in free agency?
I hate to say it, but so far Pacers. I mean, they lost who we mentioned earlier with Turner. They're gonna lose Hallie for who knows how long. He might not even make the start of the season next year for all we know. And then they haven't like done anything like to revive what like momentum they've had going in this year, this next season. I'm kind of surprised. I think they could have gotten a few people out there that could have definitely did them justice in this situation. So I'm just very surprised because I know they have money. There's no way they don't, unless they just don't know how to manage it. But I don't know what their contracts or upcoming like contracts are looking like or anything, or what their draft capital is. But I don't know. Free agency wise, it's not good for you to be going like that far in season, having that type of run, not make any moves to like replace anyone like that. It's kind of odd to me. So I'd say them for right now.
Yeah, it's a sad tale with teams like them. Those are kind of like smaller city type of market. Even though the Pacers are a big basketball franchise and Indiana is a big basketball state, it's a hard sell. It's like also Oklahoma City is the same way. Even though they built their team through draft capital and some key free agent signings, you're just not going to get those players that you want or that you just dream of. Go to Indianapolis and be with the Pacers. It's tough. Right. You just gotta find it within somehow. Now, hopefully, he plays sparingly, especially in the playoffs. But their first round pick from I think last year, Jarris Walker. Hopefully, he gets some burn and he can develop in the absence of Halliburton and now Miles Turner. I mean, you still got Pascal Siakam. It'd be interesting to see how TJ can kind of do as a full-time starter, but yeah, you're right. No, it's just another tale of
right. You can't depend on like the Siakam and Nemhards to carry you back on that run again. You need all pieces of the puzzle. So
yeah, it's real tough.
Yeah, I think as far as like their money situation, I think they might. I think this is this year where they may have to pay Benedict Mathurin. Like I think he's coming up on a contract.
Okay.
Maybe they wanted to choose who to pay, so they chose him. And maybe in the next couple of years, maybe even like Nemhard or somebody like that. I definitely think Nemhard might be one of the main guys that actually holds the fort down.
Most likely
more than McConnell. As far as like the other team that's the biggest loser, I'm gonna have to say the Memphis Grizzlies because you let go of Desmond Bane, and they just signed Jared Jackson Jr. to a long-term contract. But in my point of view, like I think Jared Jackson Jr. is one of the more overrated players in the NBA. Like no, because I mean, in the last couple of years, like he did, like because he doesn't rebound the way that I feel that big should in the playoffs, and rebounding is very important in the playoffs. And like there's times like he's supposed, and he was a previous Defensive Player of the Year winner. But I mean, I was seeing Chet Holmgren going and giving him that work this year. So to me, it's like, and I saw AD give him that work a couple of years ago too. So I just don't. So
come on, it's AD though.
Yeah, but my point is, like, if you're supposed, but if I'm paying you this kind of money, like, to be like an elite, two-way player, like, you gotta show up in these type of moments. And so, and then they trade away Desmond Bane, who, through Ja Morant's injuries, I mean, Desmond Bane pretty much held the fort down and still kept Memphis competitive,
absolutely,
even with Ja's, injuries / suspension. So, and now, they put all their eggs with Jaren Jackson and Ja Morant, but, and they made their interim coach the head coach, but I just don't know, like, I don't know what's their long-term plan going to be going forward. It's, it's just, there's a lot more questions than answers with this Memphis Grizzlies team right now. And as it stands now, I'm not even sure if they're going to even be a playoff team next year.
I mean, they still got those two guys. They should be all right. Maybe a low end playoff seed, but I mean, they should be all right. But I do agree with you with the direction. Like, where is this team head? Are they like kind of rebuilding with Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. in mind now, or will they move off them to next year? Because those were rumors going around too. Like they were just going to blow that whole thing up. I think the mistake they made was firing Taylor Jenkins, at least in the middle of the season. I don't think they should have did that. So like that did spell doom for them. But I agree to some extent about the Memphis Grizzlies. But I think they saving grace. They still got Ja Morant, and Ja Morant gonna come next year proving it. Like everybody was like, he kind of fell off a little bit this season, but he's gonna bounce back though.
Zach,
and plus he came out with some new shoes too. Yeah. When you come out with some new shoes, you got to ball hard.
Yep. I'm excited to see Ja's resurgence once again.
Oh, yeah. That's your team, Noah. How you feeling about them?
Yeah. Losing Desmond Bane was tough, but I mean, he was expensive. Jaren Jackson, yeah, I kind of get why you think that, Randall. I do. Especially with the amount they gave him. Yeah, that's fair then. But I think that didn't they sign him to like a 4 or 5 year deal, something like that?
Yeah, I think he got a 5 year, 230. Was it 230 million?
Wow, 230.
Yes, yeah, he had got the max.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, Jaren's a good player. He's great for the team and everything. Yeah. I mean, I feel all right. I think the roster's there. I just think they need to implement the game plan better. Compared to like what they did last year and everything.
And I wonder how much Zach Edey is going to contribute too.
Yeah. He wasn't looking bad, dude. He was looking pretty good.
Yeah, but how much good can he get? How much greater can he get?
That remains to be seen. So I feel like he does have his limitations.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's all with he's raw. He's still got a lot to learn. Young player coming in. I mean, he's like a Cooper Flag-esque type of player to them. So it's like. I don't know. We'll see.
That's pretty bold statement right there, man.
Yeah,
you think so?
Bold. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. But
that's like the pet pick of the draft. Like,
but I'm all right. I feel all right about my Grizzlies. It just really depends on like if Ja can stay healthy. It's like that's always been the thing.
Ja get back to 30 points. Ja get back to 30 points. I mean,
I think they'll be okay. Yeah, I think they'll be okay. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to our last thing. Rapid fire question. I got some random questions for y'all that for the people that watching, I did not show them these questions before I asked them, so they got to think on their feet. So let's begin, fellas. Let's roll the dice. All right, first one, true or false? The Cavaliers are now the favorites to come out of the East.
False.
Oh, false. Got two false. Who is then?
I'm gonna have to go with the New York Knicks.
Yeah, I agree.
And another thing is, I do like the Jordan Clarkson acquisition too.
Me too.
I think that's going to definitely help their bench. I think they needed some extra scoring off the bench. So I do think that move is a very solid move to help the Knicks, at least get to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, true that. Noah, you got the Knicks too?
Oh,
you got a different team.
Oh, yeah, probably Knicks.
Oh.
Yeah, I was thinking like Pacers and Boston. I don't know. Probably
Yeah.
Knicks to stay safe.
Yeah, looking like it right now. All right, question number 2. Speaking of Cooper Flag, is he the lock for Rookie of the Year this coming season?
No.
All right, we got 1 no. Randall, no.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah.
Yes.
I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna live up to expectations.
Wow.
What about you, Stacey?
I mean, I do think Dylan Harper is going to be pretty good, but the only thing about him is that he's a guard, and they still got De'Aaron Fox there. So like I wonder if the opportunities are going to be there for him with both those guys at the same time, and they still have Stephon Castle too. So it is a bit of a crowded backcourt down in San Antonio. So I do think that, especially I think early in the season, I think Cooper is going to get those opportunities for him. So I think Cooper will live up to it and be Rookie of the Year.
All right, lock. Noah, who you got running with him if he's not a lock?
Probably Harper, if anything. Harper. I think that's the safe pick. Yeah. I mean,
because Stephon Castle somehow won it amidst all the young guys on that team. So well, maybe.
Yeah. We'll see.
But I agree more so with Randall. Like I think it's just a little bit too crowded for him. Yeah. I got y'all who gonna be running for Rookie of the Year. Ace Bailey. Ace Bailey.
Okay, Stacey.
Ace Bailey's gonna do it. All that stuff everybody was talking about him.
Okay.
Like he butchered his process. They was laughing, ha ha ha. He's with the Utah Jazz. Watch him drop 20 points per game next year and win Rookie of the Year over Cooper.
Dang.
Well, he gonna be laughing his ass off at everybody that says something about it. If that happens.
Right.
I think the good thing about him going to Utah, man, is like he ain't got nothing else to do but hoop.
Got nothing to lose, right? Yeah.
Utah got some mountains.
Yeah, ski resorts and whatnot.
They got some ski.
Some cool air.
I heard Utah's a very beautiful place. Like I haven't been there myself. Like I've heard it's very beautiful out there. But,
yeah.
But it's not the city that's known for its nightlife or anything like that. So for young guys, I think that could be a city to where similar like it's no different from remember OKC had KD, Harden, and Westbrook. Them guys would just lived in the gym during that time. So
in OKC.
I feel like that's one of the places where you live in the gym and you try to get.
That's about it. Yeah.
Shout out to all the beautiful women in Utah who are underrated in this country. We haven't seen y'all yet, but you know that y'all are. All right, last question. Speaking of the Spurs, Victor Wembanyama, will he be the first ever player to secure $100 million a season as far as contract? Now we got Shea making 71, so it's coming.
Yeah, that's
that's like years. I can't.
That's far down the road. Yeah,
because we still got to get to the.
I'll say yes, just because of inflation.
I think somebody else will get it before him, but he'll still because it's just the nature of the way it's the nature of how the business is. Just when it's your time to get paid, you just leverage it, and I think some other player might get to him first.
Luka hasn't gotten paid yet, has he?
Well, he lost money in getting traded to the Lakers, so he's probably going to sign a 2-year extension now with the Lakers to set it up to where he can get that ultimate super max. I think a couple years down the line.
I think Luka will hit 80, but I mean that's why I say Victor, because Victor is a little bit more down the line to where the NBA would grow in revenue and somebody will pay him that or close.
But it could be Cooper Flag.
Yeah, it could be Cooper too.
True. Yeah. If he pans out, yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see, man.
Sorry, go ahead.
Just think about it. Somebody can make $100 million in one season.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Wow.
I wonder how the paychecks work out for that. Just imagine that's what's that what's that at the average? Doing the math, that's gotta be that's gotta be like a couple, like 4 or 5 million a check or something like that. Like that's
insane, dude. It's insane. I got a question for you guys.
Go ahead.
It's a fun one. If you guys had to choose any basketball franchise right now, current day, to start a rebuild for a franchise, and start rebuilding, who would you choose?
You mean like any player?
No, any franchise, any team to start rebuilding and start up your franchise and kind of go up.
You mean own the team?
Yeah, own the team, build it. Yeah. Kind of like Madden franchise type of stuff.
Oh yeah. The 76ers.
Pretty random. Okay, Sixers. All right.
Somebody gotta do something, man. First of all, hire some better medical / training staff people and stop killing your rookies.
Shit, dude. You're onto something, Stacey.
I mean, ideally, I would obviously pick my, beloved Los Angeles Lakers, but because obviously I'm a diehard fan. But if you're talking about if you ask me if I'm just gonna do a fixer upper type of thing, to me, if I want a challenge of doing a fixer upper thing, like Stacey's talking about, man, I'm gonna go to the bottom of the barrel franchise. I'm gonna go to the Wizards and the Charlotte Hornets because, man, those two teams, man, they're just consistently in the lottery year in and year out, man. And it's these poor fans over in both of these cities deserve better, man. The Washington Wizards have not won 50. I don't think they've won 50 games since the 70s, baby.
Insane.
They have not won 50 games since then. It's and the Charlotte Hornets, they've never gone past the second round in their history. It's look, both of these franchises, man, we need to get these to some kind of respectability, man. Because good lord, because the way some of these teams are, man, it's they play they're not even real NBA teams, man. It's the Washington Wizards were legit they were one of the lousiest teams I've ever seen last year, man. It's just they were just an absolute joke, and it's just it's not good for the game. It's not good. You just can't have there's always going to be bad teams in the NBA, man. But just having certain teams just consistently in the lottery, man.
Yeah, hold on. During the heyday of John Wall, Bradley Beal, and Caron Butler, and all them, Anton Jackson, they ain't won 50?
Nope.
Oh. Oh Lord.
Hey, it's a dignity thing. I respect it though, Randall.
Hey, y'all hear that?
Get those fans their justice.
Yeah. No, I'm with him. I'm sick of it as well. The Wizards, I mean, they had the Charlotte Hornets be pissing me off. They really do.
Oh man, that's a whole nother ballpark. Yeah. Poor
back in the days, they were I think when they first came in the 90s, folks used to wear Charlotte Hornets gear.
Oh yeah, the starter jacket.
Johnson,
the starter jacket,
and Muggsy Bogues, and then Dell Curry. There was kind of a cool team back in the 90s.
Yeah, bro, I had one of them starter jackets.
Yeah,
it was the Bulls and Hornets over here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, missed those days. Days. I appreciate that question, Noah. That was a great question, guys. Fired up here. This was the end of our free agency special here on SOS YouTube edition. Once again, I am Stacey Carter II, joined by Randall Hamilton, Noah Urudia. Follow us everywhere at Stacey on Sports, and shout out to these two guys who were key contributors to both of our channels, the main channel and our short form channel, crossing the 10K line as far as views on YouTube. So, man, what a moment. Here's to 10,000 more. I ain't got no wine glass, so let me raise this empty water bottle right here.
Right, a cup full of water.
I'm gonna raise the air glass right here.
Yeah. In spirit. Yeah. Until next time, we gonna keep on watching the NBA Summer League right around the corner, fellas. Once again, we're gonna be graced with the presence of Kenny Lofton Jr. All right.
Hey, Summer League superstar.
One and only, dude.